Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud.
And Famous Dave.
And this is Battle for a New Champion, episode 6 recap. I don't know what the title of this episode was, but I would call it Muddy. Producers choose Big T over Kaz. That's what I would call it. That's a little unfair, but we'll get into the elimination when we get there. But I have theories, Dave.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm intrigued. This is quite the teaser because I didn't see anything fishy about it at all. So I'm interested to hear what you have to say.
Fishy as in fish in a barrel, man. it's not that clear cut. But I'm riffing. Okay. So let's I have barely any notes on this episode. But what I do have is some stuff in the house with the big reveal of the Fantastic Four. Remember that? Where they're like, no,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm trying to remember who was there. Was it Jay, Michelle, Asaf,
as soon as fuck. Yeah.
and Nerys?
Yes. And can we talk about Nerys real quick? It might
Oh yeah.
seem very inappropriate, but she's wearing this super low cut shirt showing off her tats. And at first I was like, oh, that's awesome. But then I realized she's wearing the same thing in every confessional in every episode. I get flashbacks of Seinfeld. Remember the woman who wore the same costume or
Oh
whatever,
yeah. She's got a closet filled with the same dress.
like Superman.
Yeah. It seems quite obvious that a lot of the confessionals this year, they were all just recorded at the end of the season where they bring in the cast member like right after they get sent home or whatever, or the season's over with. They bring them in because it's like they were whatever they're wearing every episode narrating their entire season. So they
Yeah.
just brought them in for an 8 hour day of just filming and just say like, hey, tell us about this, tell us about this.
Does that sort of give away how far in the season they get? Possibly.
Maybe. I
Uh,
mean, I felt like in older seasons, it did kind of give stuff away, but I haven't really noticed it like in this season or in the prior seasons.
yeah.
Like you would usually what you would end up seeing is like, well, one person is obviously wearing different clothes and they're filming it like in the house, you know, like during the days and their off time. But it seems like almost everyone in their confessionals is kind of wearing the same stuff.
Yeah, Ed. He's wearing that cheetah shirt
Yeah.
every
He
episode now.
he looks like Seth Rollins to me. He's got a very pro wrestler vibe.
Speaking of Seth Rollins, wasn't he like against CM Punk returning or something like that? I think I read something somewhere.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw that. It's one of those things I can't figure out if it's like real or scripted, which in pro wrestling is the perfect spot to be in. Like you want it to be like, is that real? Is it not real? I don't know.
Well, okay, let's get back to the Fantastic Four, which by the way, it's like, come on, guys. Think of a better fucking name. Don't pick a franchise that is repeatedly bombed.
I'm not gonna lie. I tried to watch the very first Fantastic Four movie that came out in like the year 2000 or whatever it was, and I thought it was pretty bad. I did not finish it.
Who casts Invisible Girl, gives it to Jessica Alba, the most prettiest girl there is. Let's make her invisible. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, how did that pitch meeting go? Jessica, I know you've been looking for a big movie. We got you signed on. All right, who am I gonna play? Wonder Woman? No, not Wonder Woman. Invisible Girl. Well, all right. Well, she only turns invisible at like the end of the movie, right? No, she's pretty much invisible other than like two scenes.
It kind of this whole like naming themselves something reminded me of Scream 6 the Core Four. Have you seen that movie at all?
What one is Scream 6?
Oh, when they go to New York.
Is that the most recent one?
Yeah.
I have not seen that one yet.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, I didn't like it, so you
Oh,
go ahead and watch it.
wait, is this like Home Alone 2 Lost in New York?
No, that was good. This is more like Jason Takes Manhattan. Friday the 13th, part
Uh,
9 or 8, part 8, sorry.
I don't know. It sounds kind of good to me. I haven't seen Jason Goes to Manhattan, so
Ugh. That one's iffy.
is, is there like Sex in the City vibes, except for it's like murder in the city?
Oh, I wish Kristen Davis was in Scream 6. That would have been great. But that was
Uh,
not the case.
so I was just rewatching something, and I was watching episode 5, I believe, the previous episode, where Asaf in the beginning of it. Now Asaf ends up going into the draw. Him and Callan or Callum or
Yeah,
Kyrian.
Kyrian, I think, yeah.
Yeah. So that was the episode where Corey sent in Asaf. And at the beginning of that episode, Asaf said just like some of the dumbest shit I've ever heard, but I didn't notice it the first time. But what he said was, the UK people think I'm in their alliance. And the US people, or he's like, the US people, I'm actually in their alliance. But the thing is, he's like, the US people, I'm in their alliance, but they don't even know that I'm in their alliance because I've only told Jay. And
Uh,
like Jay is the only person in the US alliance who's like working with Asaf, but no one else in the American alliance knows that. And then Corey, like 20 minutes later in the episode, Corey sends in Asaf, and Corey's part of the American alliance, but he didn't even know that Asaf was in the alliance. And it was like, Asaf, like, they're kind of using you. They're using him as a pawn, and Asaf is he's not even aware of it. And it's
yeah.
it's so funny to me.
You think he's getting used by the Fantastic Four?
I kind of think he is. Like I don't doubt that a number of people would throw him under the bus, kind of like Corey did, like immediately. Because once the UK people, once they catch on, they'll send votes his way. Um, and in the American alliance, they're gonna protect other people before they protect Asaf.
So
Uh,
Asaf is the thing of the Fantastic Four, where they're like,
Perhaps,
yeah, they're like, you look horrendous, the thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like in my head, I'm just trying to do like the matchups in my head of who they're gonna feed to CT, and CT is just gonna squash. So Asaf, I feel like he's high on my list of people who are gonna be sacrificed.
Yeah, it was super weird to have Asaf be so hurt and so pissed because of Corey, but then when he's in elimination, he's like, I want to go in. Like, I want to go in, you know?
Yeah. Oh
S-
yeah.
yeah. So
That's
was he
that's
super
specific.
acting against Corey, or did his natural competition kick in at the elimination?
So I noticed that in like the mud pit in the challenge of this episode. Like Asaf, he's got lots of confidence. He's always talking crap. And then the second someone puts up some opposition to him, like either throws him in or like is going for the ball and is like pushing him off, he gets super emotional and just like starts whining and just like whining and crying about stuff. And it's like, dude, you can either be confident or you can be a whiner. Like you can't be both. And that's what Asaf is. He's super confident, then he turns into a whiner, and then it's just like it comes off as like you're fake confident.
Oh shit. Yeah, I
Kind of
don't know.
like Car Maria, I would say. He's like a female version of Car Maria.
So that means Asaf could possibly win 2 championships.
Maybe.
Yeah. All right, should we talk about the actual mission? Bingo Bango?
Sure.
Yeah, well, first of all, Mud is fun, right? The whole bingo thing. I've played bingo a couple times. It could be pretty fun, you know. Uh, but it kind of sucks though this time because two teams are working together in a way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't remember which team is which, but red team will win this. I have the winners right here. We'll go into detail later, but like the winners Kyland, Zara, Horatio, Emmanuel, Colleen, and Berna. Zara in particular is going to kick a lot of ass in this one. She's got like these long stork legs, and she's so fast. It's crazy.
Yeah, she doesn't get stuck in the mud because she's got those spindly little legs that just poking right through the mud. I liked it a lot. I thought it was cool. It is, I don't know. It's one of those things like some people like it, some people don't. When you have three teams, and then it kind of comes down to alliances and people working together to sabotage someone. I I used to get annoyed by that, but I feel like I've seen it so many times that like I'm okay with it. Like I wasn't bugged by it at all. It was just funny because like once they kind of like who was some of the girls were ganging up on Melissa, and then they're like, "Oh, you guys are working together," and they're like, "You just figured that out? Like we've been working together this whole game. And you just realized it halfway through."
Well, the main thing the only thing I wrote down was Nerys was holding Melissa down, and then Melissa, or no, Nerys did more than that. Nerys fucking, I believe she did the face mask. She face masked Nerys out of revenge, and then she kicked her. Remember that? She like
Yeah,
kicked her
I
in the
remember seeing
ribs
the
or
kick.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like once it was over, like after the round was over, she kicked her as she was going away. It was yeah, like Melissa, yeah, she's kind of a hothead as we've learned, you know.
not a bully.
Um no, not a bully, but she's got some anger issues.
Okay, so
It was kind of funny because it was yeah, I think it was Nerys. She was like, "Oh, we don't even need that ball," and then she wasn't even going to go in. And then one of her partners, I think, said, "No, go in there and help." Uh, who was it, Zara or Berna or whoever it was?
yeah, something like that. Yeah. Yeah, I think it might have been Ned. I'm not really sure. But okay, so Melissa getting, extra, as the kids say, in the mud. I think that applies. I don't know. But it reminded me of what she did to Sylvia in an elimination in like Vendettas. Remember they were like wrestling in like KY jelly or something like that. And Melissa was doing like straight up MMA moves once they were on the ground. Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember that. That's a good callback. Yeah, it's a very similar thing. Yeah, it was one of those things where you're like, oh, okay, she's not just like a pretty girl who can't get physical. Like she's like, I trained MMA or whatever, and she's like doing like judo tosses and stuff, and like fighting after the bell. It's very British of her.
Oh, British. That's so specific. I'm sure Americans on the challenge have cheated way more than the British, just because the British have only been here like for what, 8 seasons now, something like that.
Hmm.
Uh okay, so I just have to throw this out there. I like Kylan. I don't like Melissa, but I like that Kylan has a pretty girl on his arm.
I like Kylan too. Melissa, I don't know. She likes Kylan, and I like Kylan, so I agree with her there. But then she also likes Big T, and I don't like Big T. So uh, Melissa's fine, but I feel like she's not going to be around in this game much longer because I feel like her and Big T are going to be called out basically in like every female elimination until they're gone because it seemed like the
Mm.
numbers are like firmly against them.
You would think Kylan, or is this an inappropriate joke or whatever? But Kylan, he's like, I'm autistic. I wonder if he would pick up on the fact that Melissa is kind of no good. Like he would be like, well, logically, Melissa is on the outs. She's friends with Big T. and Melissa's violent. I'm not violent. Might be cut. I don't know.
Well, I mean, there's it's thinking with this brain and then thinking with that brain down there.
Oh,
So,
shit.
that brain down there ain't autistic.
God. All right. Well, let's just move on, shall we? Oh, okay. But so red team wins, right? They're given the win, although Zara is really amazing in this. So they're gonna vote, they have to vote someone in. Kylan says no. I think it's Berna who just says Melissa, and then everyone follows suit. But I think it was Emmanuel. He was saying like, Kylan, you're just thinking with your heart, like you're just dating her. You have to think logically or something like that. Or he said that out loud to everyone. He's like, Kylan isn't thinking clearly or something like that, which was interesting.
Yeah. I mean, because Melissa is not part of like Kylan's alliance, but he doesn't want to. He's obviously he doesn't want to send home a girl that he's his snuggle buddy. So, and I mean, we've seen this in countless seasons of the challenge where when a guy is dating a girl, they end up protecting them, like regardless, and like everyone else in their alliance gets pissed off at them because they're like, hey, like, come on, you got to vote with the alliance lines, and they're like, well, not this is my girl, I ain't gonna do that.
Yeah, but I guess his hand is forced. Everyone votes for Melissa. Now, I didn't write anything down about the club or the deliberation, but I do know, thanks to stopbeingpolite.com, that Horatio returns the lap dance favor to Nerys. Dave, have you ever given a lap dance to a woman? No?
No.
It's a woman giving a lap dance to you with your
Oh.
wife on the other room listening.
uh,
We'll
I'm
just
not
say
going to answer
yes.
that question.
Okay.
When you asked if I had ever given a lap dance to a woman, I thought the next question was going to be, have you ever given a lap dance to a man?
And
No.
uh yeah,
But you
okay.
know what? If Horacio was around, I might let him give me a lap dance.
Yeah, he did a pretty good job.
You didn't watch that part of the episode?
I didn't. I skipped it.
You didn't rewind it in slow motion 3 times? Not that I did, but
You know what? You know what I want to know about Horatio? I want to know the story behind the scar that's on his fucking head. If you notice, like it's blank right here in his hair. You never noticed that?
No,
Oh shit.
no
Well,
idea.
clearly I'm I'm looking for imperfections. I'm like, God damn it,
Well,
Horatio.
you're busy staring at his hair while I'm staring at his bod.
There's hair on his spot, right?
No, he's hairless. He's like a seal.
Not down there. The lap.
Okay, honestly, when I see it, they showed like after the club, I think, or maybe it was before I don't remember when it was, but it was like Nerys and Horacio talking outside, like on the lounge chairs by the pool. And all I can think is like Nerys, like, don't you hurt this man. I'm like, Horacio, he's so genuinely nice and he's taking it slow and all this stuff. And I'm like, Nerys, do not use this man and dump him. I'm like, he is a genuine good guy. I don't know. And like, I don't know why I assume that Nerys is a bad girl, but someone did say she was a party girl at some point this season.
Right.
And she was with Jordan last year, which shows questionable judgment in my mind.
Really? Oh
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, she I don't I don't remember what season it was, but it
Oh,
was like when Tori was freaking out the whole time at Jordan, and Jordan was getting with Nerys her rookie year.
jeez.
So I just Nerys, do not hurt Horacio. He's a good guy. All right.
Yeah, I think it was Jay who was or who's Horacio's ride or die. What's her name?
Olivia.
Olivia. Yeah, she was like, Horacio moves very slow, but she moves quickly. I'm like, what does that mean? Move quickly.
Like a cat
Actually,
going after her prey.
yeah. So I don't know. Who knows? But let's move on to anything happen in the debate, the deliberation. Anything of note?
Uh, you didn't see that part either?
No, I skipped it.
Okay.
It's as boring
Okay.
as the clubs to me.
All right. Literally, the only thing that happened was Big T is like, what? Or maybe it was Melissa. Yeah, Melissa's like, I just want to take this opportunity. Melissa spent time like going around the house trying to convince people to vote in uh basically anyone other than Big T. Melissa's like, don't vote in Big T, vote in someone else. I think she was throwing out names like Nerys and who was the other name that was getting thrown out there? I don't really recall. But Nerys was one of the names getting thrown out there, and Melissa's like, I have to do everything I can to make sure that my best friend doesn't get sent home. I love this girl. She's like, Big T, do you have anything to say? She's like, oh, please don't vote for me. And then they did the vote right there in deliberation. They didn't like wait until they went to the arena to do the vote. They did the vote right there in like on the outside part where they got those couches and then like the three tables with a bunch of oranges on them. That is just like weird and tacky looking to me. But yeah, they did the vote right there, and then they immediately all just voted in Big T. They're like, sorry. We don't care what your thoughts are. And then they're like crying afterwards, and then like Ed is walking by and he's like, oh, don't cry. And then he just walks by him awkwardly. Like the whole house just voted you in.
Ah, yeah. So I guess I should have watched it then. That's the final vote. I'll start watching them then in that case. Because at first it was pointless. Yeah.
Well, this is the first episode where they've actually done the vote right there, which I thought was interesting. But I guess they might need to. I guess they need to know the vote right away, so that way they can, when they do the draw, they know whose names are going to be on there.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, I thought you were going to say, and then they get to handpick. Like, do we send in Tori? No, because what if we lose Big T? Let's send in
Yeah.
Kaz.
Well, yeah. What if all three of those spikes they all have the same name on all of them? We don't know.
Well, okay, see, that's where I kind of disagree. But let's get into the elimination itself, where they do bring in Kaz. She has to draw the hammers or whatever. She draws Big T. But that kind of clashes with my theory. I thought producers want to save Big T. So it is weird. I mean, so I don't think they put her name. I think the hammers are legit, is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm,
I think producers want to save Big T. I think they think or I think they're kind of in love with her, just like how they were in love with Kenny and Evan and shit like that. That's my theory.
perhaps, but I think they're in love with her. But I think putting her in, they put her in against Kaz, who's out of all the champions that returned, she's the least qualified. I meant to do some research, but like always, I forgot to do my homework. She won the challenge UK, but like how many eliminations did she go into that season?
I never watched it.
And then she was paired up with Jordan on the World Championships, and I don't think they ever go into an elimination there.
Maybe one, but it's not coming to me though.
Yeah, I legit have no idea, but all I'm saying is she has like probably the least amount of elimination experience. Like I'm sure she can run a final. She's good at that. But in elimination, you need experience to kind of do all sorts of weird stuff that you're going to need to do. And rolling around in a barrel on the ground is kind of weird. Um, Big T has more experience than Kaz does in eliminations. Big T's been, this is like her
Oh,
fourth or fifth year.
that's
She's
true.
been in
That's
a
a good
lot of
point.
eliminations.
Yeah, and she's heavier,
So,
I guess.
yeah. So, I mean, this was like the easiest matchup for Big T. And my complaint the previous episode was like, well, Jordan's coming in and he just destroyed. I'm like, they're just gonna do this to all the cast members. It was like, no, there's Kaz was kind of a layup. Um, but there are some heavy hitters coming up that are not going to be this much of a layup. I don't know the entire list of people that are going to come in, but this is probably going to be one of the easiest matchups. So Big T got pretty lucky to go against Kaz, I feel like.
Was it figured out by producers to put Kaz in first, or was it just the fact that, like, remember, Jordan and Kaz both won world championship? Is it because they were so fresh? They're like, put them in, like, fresh in people's minds as champions? I don't know. No idea. But again, that's a champion. Like, in all honesty, you should go against a champion in a final. Like, that's how you really win. Plenty of champions have won without going into elimination. CT won his very first season without ever going in. It does happen. I don't believe in the whole thing like, oh, you gotta, go into elimination in order to be a true champion. No. If anything, go against a true champion in a final, like Darrell, like Bananas. That's tough.
Yeah.
Darrell's not much of an elimination dude, and he's going to be on this season. Spoiler, sorry.
Damn it. I forgot about him. Yeah. Because, I mean, part of the challenge of the challenge is to keep yourself out of eliminations, and if you have a really strong political game, you generally will stay out, barring some bad luck.
Yeah, what they should really do, I mean, let's blast through this real quick. Kaz, draws Big T, and then Big T defeats her in Rolling in a Barrel. But what that just reminded me of is this is what should happen. You have to go against a champion in all these different fields. Like, go against Wes in elimination, go against Darrell in the finals, but then you have to go against Paula in confessional, and then you have to go against, I don't know, someone like Bananas and Missions.
In a nightclub.
Yes. Bananas and Missions. You have to win certain things against champions who are great at certain aspects of the show. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I like that idea.
If you're gonna get drunk and throw a gigantic fit, you have to go against Camilla. I mean, let's be real.
Yeah.
God,
on the Mount Rushmore.
Yes. that mount is crumbling. It's terrible. All right. Well, so Kaz did lose. Big T is coming back. I don't know. Are you rooting for anyone so far this season in terms of the women?
I'm rooting for Colleen because Colleen is beautiful, but
oh right, yeah, she was the mole, right?
Yeah, and she gets like no screen time. Like, other than the only screen time she really got was when Berna was having meltdowns, and she's like a psychologist or something, and she's going to school to be a psychiatrist or something. So she's like listening to Berna, and her eyes are like, what the hell's wrong with this girl? She's got a lot going on right now. She's feeling a lot.
All right.
So I like Colleen. I like Zara. She's cool. I like Mariah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I like everybody except for Big T, I feel like, because Big T just seems like kind of fake and attention whore, but whatever.
I think I feel the same. Berna's a little weird.
I don't really care for Berna.
Yeah. Although she fucking hiked up her shorts so you could see her butt cheeks during that mission. That was weird.
Yeah, I did appreciate that. Appreciate the effort.
Yes. And on that note, like, subscribe, comment. This was Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud
and Famous Dave.